Very good. Very excited to be able to sit down with you again, Ari. Especially the last 7, 8 months was a tremendous run. I see all the students have got amazing, groundbreaking results. Really, I don't know how you can do it. Really amazing. Yeah, so I want to actually capture those stories, capture how you conceptualize this. Yeah. So let's get into it. Yeah. Um, One of the question that really pops in my mind a lot is that what is the what do you think is the reasons that the fast track can give you such a groundbreaking results to the students?
Okay, so before we go to the question, right? So I think one thing I want to address is that the last 6, 7, 8 months or so, right? We have been abstaining from doing all this kind of social media thing a little bit. Getting thing doing, but we didn't record a lot of things because I really want to focus on doing something that prepare something that actually get people results in a very short amount of time. Because what I realized was having speed in getting results is crucial right now, right? Even Sam Altman from OpenAI said, speed is the ultimate differentiator, is the ultimate game changer, your ultimate competitive advantage, right? And even Sun Tzu out of war said one of these things, right? Quickness is the essence of war, right? So you're going to a battle, so you need something that really get results fast, as opposed to like training 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 10 months down the road and you don't get results.
Yeah.
Right. And you're trying to how would I put it, is like you're trying to chase something that you do not know whether it's repeatable or not, right? So then with this, I created a system from, I would say, regardless of the industry that they're in, right? So we focus on that to create a system that I gathered data from my past six years or so in coaching and mentoring people in sales. And I gathered data from the students that have succeeded in sales and what they do correctly in whatever industry that they're doing right now. And then after that, I compile every single thing and make it into a small, fast and sharp system, which is immediately you will get 20% of the things that will give you 80% of the results. And that is crucial because, right, then I made it into a 4-week system where you implement every single thing in 4 weeks, which I want to break one common belief in the market, which is a lot of people think, okay, sales, you need to upgrade your skills, you need to use a very long time to get results. Like the ramp up time usually in the market is 3 to 6 months time. So I've shown people that has this kind of belief, right? I try to break that they call the 4 mile mark.
4 minute miles.
4 minute miles, right? 4 minute miles.
So
exactly. So I'm trying to break that in the sales industry, where I'm getting people results and getting them returns on whatever they invested into this fast track program, right? In that particular program itself, within 4 weeks. So like that, people will get ultimately super good confidence, right? Now, then it's a system with all these kind of principles and all the steps and all the scripts that I'm giving to a person, to my students, right? So I can personally mentor them, and I also have this personal guidance and implementation coaching and mentoring with them so that they know how to use the system. So what we do here is, instead of depending on skills and upgrading the skills, we depend on upgrading, using a system that people can copy and paste and use it immediately and refill back to the system whenever there's something wrong in what they do in sales or something is not working. So they have a track that they can fall back to, as opposed to, like, a lot of times the track is in their head and people tend to forget things. How many things can you remember at one time? Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So
I really like what you say earlier. Speed is the essence of war. Yeah, you have to snap it up real quick. But most of the time now is really, like you say, if you go to any classes or whatever, or master the skill, it takes 3, 6 months. 3, 6 months considered good already.
I think it's very fast.
Correct.
Or skills upgrading.
Correct. Some people after years also cannot, right? So what you mentioned, really the speed and how you do it in a 4 weeks kind of things, right? Is it feels like you are walking with them, parallel with them. What it immediately brings to my mind is as though, like, sales is like a racing, right? Like a rally, and in a rally car you have a navigator actually sit
right at the side beside you, right? So there's a driver and there's somebody that's actually doing all the navigation one. Could say the heartlands.
Tulips. They actually have the whole tulip one. Right. The tulip is the map lah, basically, to tell you how many meters you have a sharp turn, how many meters you have a deep, how many meters you have a right, and then what speed do you have to go? Yeah, it sounded really like that you are.
Exactly, because the navigator is there to. Okay, before we even talk about the navigator, let me give you a little bit of perspective on rally, right? Since I've watched it before, I think it's one of the most underrated motorsport in the entire world, because right, it takes tremendous amount of uh, energy, effort, or involvement and focus, and also for the driver itself, right? So I mean, like you're in a terrain that anything could happen, because there's elements of nature inside of it. Okay, so anything could happen in the terrain they're actually racing in. All right, and it's not like a track where the laps are already preset and you can go all around it again and again and again and again, right? Although rally is somewhat like that, but because it has element of terrain, but the track racer doesn't have. So if you put a track racer into a rally, right, they will die. They'll
Yes.
lose forever, because those whatever they learn in track racing, right, doesn't apply in rally.
Correct.
Right.
A lot of unexpected.
Exactly. So a lot of unexpected things. So when that happens, right, even in sales, it's kind of like the same thing, right? When there's a lot of unexpected things happen, the replies given by your customers, the unresponsiveness, right? Sometimes the thing that we ask you to send maybe not working in certain types of industry, so we need feedback to tweak it, right? So sales is a lifelong journey, right? In order for you to get good at it, right, to master it, but with a system, then you can master it faster, because then you always fall back to the system as a guiding path. Like the navigator is actually guiding the whole the drive and the race all the way to the finish line. Right? Without the navigator, I think if they had an accident, the navigator hit the head, crash, and then they got bleeding or whatever, they got concussion, then the driver would you're out of race. The ride driver wouldn't be able to race until the very end, isn't it? Right. So I think the role of the navigator is super important. Like same like a coach or mentor in sales or in business or in whatever that people is doing. So if you got a mentor, even Fortune 500 companies, right? Even Fortune 500, they came up with a study on Fortune 500 companies in States, right? And they found out from 2020, 2021, and 2022, okay, all the studies, if I remember correctly, that in 2020, the number of companies that are having the mentor, right, without mentoring programs inside their companies are like 26%. Then in 2022, it's what, less than 10%, it's about less than 5% of companies of Fortune 500 that don't have mentoring programs. And why they have that is because once they see the companies that has mentoring program that guide their top employees, guide their staff, their retailers, whoever that's need guidance, all right, and mentoring them towards that career path, right, they saw at least double in revenue, double in sales, double in profit, comparing to the ones that don't have. So that makes an unbelievable kind of returns. Why? Because how much would you invest into a mentoring program? It could be, let's say, millions, 5-10 million, but the returns they got was in the billions. Let's say the company is doing 400 million, then the next round, the company that has the mentorship is doing 800, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of returns you can't see with normal kind of strategy. It's only through mentoring and knowledge.
Yeah. So like you mentioned earlier, how mentoring will benefit and the rally car that we talk about, right? The analogy into the fast track, it's really you want to talk about that, like how you prepare the students, how you prep them for the week, and then how is it relate to like the rally car? You're literally walking with them, and you have the coaching team hand holding them every day to have that kind of groundbreaking.
So the thing is that when I was thinking about how to do this, right, two things that's always appearing in my mind is that, number one, it must get results fast for the students, at least when they do the things. Second, it must be scalable. Meaning, in order for me to help more people, I had to scale it up further, right? But I can't do it like one-to-one. So I was thinking in an environment of 15 to 25 people, right? 15 to 25 people at the maximum, because there's only so much you can guide a person if there's like too many people, right? So I put it in the cohort kind of system. So it's like every single batch. And till then, I think we did about like five.
I just confirmed it's 5.
Okay, five fast tracks. So when the first one was launched, right? So we did it in 4 weeks time. And what I had in mind was, okay, in the first week, I told specifically my students, right, my participants, number one, not to do any sales. Okay, don't do any sales. Ignore all the appointment you do in the first week, because that is where I want to reset their principles in sales. Okay, all the principles, all the closing scripts, how you want to close, and the tools and the tactics and the strategies that you can use, right?
From what I see, right, I think you, on top of that, something very key,
Mm.
I think, is the pivot thing is you refine their positioning.
Yeah.
Most of the salespeople do not know where their positions. They just take the company's products, whatever that they're going to sell or what service that they provide. I think that was
Because that's a generic training from the company. They train them in the product because they have to know the product knowledge to be able to sell, to be able to answer the customer's questions, because there are some specific requirements and specifications that they need to meet in order to sell the product, right, for the customer to buy. So then the rest of the things, I think, falling into place is more about the principles that they carry. Just like you say, right, repositioning themselves as a person that ultimately know how to solve problems by doing one thing, which is what we call as finding problems, right? So then that was the whole idea of the salesperson that we have here, right? Anyone that do sales. Then after that, the first week itself, right, it's all about all this kind of preparation and all the principles and everything put into them. So they have to do homeworks and assignments, right? It's just like going to school. So I prepped it in in these 4 weeks, right? The only days they get rest, right, if they wanted, is on Saturday and Sunday, right? So the rest of the 5 days you have to train with me, and even it's like very intensive with me. It's like 3 hours with Aaron. So it's like, wow, right? So I'm there talking for 3 hours straight. No, I'm not giving them any breaks. So make sure they hammer everything in. I get my co-coach, right, Max, to help them do the homework and internalize and understand every single thing that they learn in the rest of the weeks, like Tuesday to Friday. Then in the second week, the same thing happens again. So you repeat for 4 weeks. So the first week is preparation for everything. So the thing is that I don't want them to learn too much because it will overwhelm them. But I'm giving them everything that they need so they can pick the tools that can be used in their particular industry and situation.
immediately.
So right, on the second week, what we do is that we give them script, give all the scripts that's necessary for them to do messaging, to do outreach and outbound. And that one's very important because once you do that already, then okay, I think the important part, right, is that I don't want them to think. Because most people are training the salespeople to think too much. But if you want the salespeople to perform, the leaders, the sales leadership in the company, right, should know how a sales can be closed and should have all the tools ready and everything, right? They themselves should be trained in this new principle so that they can provide all that to the team so that they just do what's effective and what's proven and what's working, right? So I give them all the scripts to let them do the easy part, which is the messaging part. So they start getting appointment, right? And the third week, get them to do calling. And I remember there's this one student that was saying, the management of the company, she was doing this kind of finance industry. So the management of the team, all right, was telling her, hey, cold calling doesn't work anymore. You don't cold call in this industry. It's AI already. And then looking down on her, you can't make it. She was doing in 2024, before she came and joined the Fast Track, was 500,000 in sales. And last I checked with her in August 2nd, she did 3 something million. So she had a 6x increase. And to date, she has about she's doing not 6x increase, that's 12.
I think I know who you were referring to. Is the girl who walked into the car park, saw someone walking up, and just to walk up to that person and just connect
and close at the same time, at the same day, and collect the payment at the same day.
How amazing was that, right? From someone who is scared, do not know what am I going to do in a call, whatever, to the point that see the opportunity right before her eyes.
Exactly right.
It's your RAS things lah, right?
So the reticular activity system, right? So when the girl was doing this, right, then she get a lot of good results and she keep on reporting it to me. I'm really, really happy. Even until today, she's getting results. And she made it a goal to make 10 million in sales this year. And then just imagine that if you increase your results by 20 times, from 500,000 to 10 million, is 20x, right? And what will happen to your income? It's gonna blow up in the same way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? And I think one of the things that people mostly missed out is this. When I created the Fast Track, right, I had speed in mind. I had results in mind. And I had one more thing in mind, which is when I do not want them to think, right, it's more about in the first week, I shift. Because people usually talk about tactics in sales. Oh, what do I say? What do I do, right, in sales to get people to buy? Is there something I can do just immediately? Press the hot button, whatever, right? And then, okay, tactics are things like, it can get you, let's say you're making 1,000 today. Tactics are the thing that can get you to 1.5K or 2K or 3K, right? And then strategies are the things that can get you from 1K to 5K or maybe 10.
Right.
But there's a thing that people always miss out, which is paradigms, or what do I say as, what I call as pattern recognitions, pattern awareness, right? So or a perception or a way of thinking, right? A way of seeing things. You see
Belief system as well.
Yes, belief system, and seeing things in a way that other people can't see. You see through corners that people can't see. You see, normally we have a corner somewhere around, like, right? But you can see those corners.
The curve.
Yeah, see beyond the curve so that you can see things that other people don't see. I can use it in sales, right? So that's what I instill into them in their 4 weeks of fast track. So it's about paradigm shift, and these are the things that can get you to 100x. Because I was shooting for 50 to 100x results for my students that come and join the fast track, and some of them are getting, in the first 4 weeks itself, 12x returns, 20x returns, right? Even in the results. Those are the things that usually people are not able to achieve in such a short amount of time.
Correct. Yeah.
And this is what we are able to do here. And that's why we have tremendous results, which we are very, very proud of. And I don't think any sales organization is able to do the same thing in this kind of period at this particular time, because it takes tremendous amount of effort. I focus, like, I literally pull myself off 3 to 6 months time just to prepare this.
Yeah. So really, I mean, this is such a good direction that we are going into, because you talk about the speed is the essence of war, and also you are looking at the 20% that can yield the 80% results, right? Instead of letting them think and then overthink and then paralyze in it. So when I look at all this, right, is like how you explain in the rally car, that having a navigator to tell you what is ahead of the curve, what to anticipate, what to avoid. I mean, apart from all the data that you use to come out to know that what the students needs, how you even can conceptualize this?
Okay. I think, when I look at my students, right, there's a lot of them has been going through a lot of trainings. Some of them have been paying other trainings as well, right? Other master classes. So a lot of times when people go to trainings, it's like a 3 days thing, 2 days things, 5 day things, even in company itself. And many people think that having 2 days or 3 days or 5 days training, right, can actually make you good at doing something, especially increasing your skill. But it's only knowledge transfer if you really look at it that way. So when you knowledge transfer to someone, doesn't mean they have the skill. I just got to know about something. I don't practice it in order to be good at it. I haven't done that yet. So I like to say this to people, right? Like, you can't learn how to swim at a seminar. You can't learn how to sing at a seminar, right? You can learn the concepts, you can learn the theories and everything. You still need to do the things in order for you to get that, to learn how to swim, right?
Yeah, you're gonna drown if you do that. I mean, you have no feeling and don't have a state of experience to refer back.
Because you don't know how the water feels like. You don't know what's the tension like. You don't know whether you're going down or up.
The breathing side.
Exactly. So you don't know how to control.
Spoon bang.
Right. It's like the rally car. So the rally car that you're talking about, right? Like, you don't know what the terrain is. You don't know where the thing is, right? So you need the navigator to actually tell you where and turn, so that the driver only focus on doing one thing: driving.
Yes.
So the salespeople should focus. Any person in sales and the business owner should focus on one thing:
doing the sales.
Getting the sales to come in first. Because once you get the sales to come in, a lot of people think, oh, getting sales is harder, so I should focus on doing, like, the management part, the operation part and everything, right? But that doesn't get you sales. But once you have sales come in, you can hire damn good persons to come in and help you with your operations, help you with your HR, right? But if you got no sales come in, who want to join you in your company? Because nobody want to join you in your company, right? So very simple. So just like the rally car, right? Just like driving around. If you don't have a navigator, right, and then the rally car is just driving and nobody's informing of all the information and everything, do you think that they will crash or not?
Crash out, for sure.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
So, right, one of them, I think one of the students that we were talking about, right, was Ping He. Okay, she's from Holland.
Netherlands.
Netherlands is Holland, right?
Same. Netherlands, Holland's the same.
So, I think what she did was, when she was trying to figure out life, she went to the top university.
Yeah, I think it's Erasmus University.
Yeah, in Netherlands, right? And she worked very, very hard. She's from Shanghai, by the way, right? So she I think she migrated to Netherlands. she worked very, very hard, and she was an artist as in like the one that draw things, right? So she sell her artworks, right? So she draws this kind of botanical, flowery kind of art, and she went to about like 88 shows. I think she was running 88 shows just to promote
That's crazy.
her production.
Different location, actual trade shows.
Yeah, right. And she still ended up before when she met me with 153 euros, like 100 plus euros only, in her bank account and pocket, right? So to me, that tells something, right? A lot of people are very, very hardworking. It's not that people are not hardworking. It's not that people don't want to face the truth. It's not that people don't do the things required to, one of the things is hard work, right? Required to get money.
Right.
But the thing is, a lot of people is focusing on doing the things that is probably like premeditated or pre-prepared for them in such a way they have this kind of one-way thinking, right? That's doing that thing, like I want to do this. But what the society has failed to give to people is that the situational awareness of things and the ability to recognize patterns and the ability to critically think about certain things, right? In order to know what is important. So many people that how we learn through all these things, right? How we learn all these things is that we learn it through the experience of other people that has made it, been there, done that, so that when we pass something down to a new person, then we're seeing something new, and they get the paradigm shift, and they get a shift in thinking, and they'll say, okay, hey, this is the thing that I focus on. Then they have a direction to go down a rabbit hole. Most people don't have that. It's either number one, they have blocked everything out and say, okay, I'll just do this. I'll just be immune to all the things, all the noise, because fundamentally, people want to be left alone.
Yeah, don't want to be intruded. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, people want to be left alone. I want to do my things, right?
Like people like her who think that she is smart because she can make it from someone from China can make it to the top school in the Netherlands is something, and she'll work really hard, and sorry by the word, bloody hard, right? To the point of cancer.
Yeah, she's having a cancer, and she's survived cancer. Yeah.
And then, like what you say, people are not aware of what the patterns that they are doing. They work hard. And it reminds me of this quote that says, working hard is like leaning the ladder to the wall, the building. You climb all the way up, and then it's the wrong place.
Because you don't have the direction. You don't have bird's eye view of things.
Right. Yeah. Nobody tell you before you go up. You're on the land. You do not know which one until you have someone tell you which wall to lean your ladder to.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And as a result, she has within the 4 weeks, she has tremendous results.
Yeah, it's because of the business that she was in, right? So she was distributing and she was selling these postcards and birthday cards. At first I was like, can I even help this student, right? Like, wow. Okay. But knowing what I put into the fast track, right? It's all based on decision science and human psychology, human behaviors, and how people make decisions, right? And how they should sell, right? Normally businesses, what would they do? They would wait for people to come, isn't it? They open a shop, they open their e-commerce store, they wait for people to come. But instead of doing that, I asked her to do all the things necessary as a salesperson. First, for her to understand how the sales is supposed to be, what the sales process is. And then she made back like about, in the first 3 weeks, she already made back 13 times whatever she invested with me.
13 times.
13 times, right? That's a six-figure amount. 6-figure amount, right?
I think first or second week, I heard she made 5 figures already.
Yes. And then in euros, so, and in the 4th week, she made 15 times back whatever she invested, right? By 4th week itself. And she had never seen this kind of results in the business and when she was doing the things that you're supposed to do. And this enabled her, right, to and she told me some private things, I'm not able to say. There's a few things that she's able to clear some of the things in her life, like all these financial obligations and stuff. And now she no longer has to be worried about those stuff anymore.
I just seen her social media. She just had a new location, set up a new studio.
Yeah.
The last round I talked to her, she was interviewing to start her team.
Yeah, you see? So right now she has the idea of how she can do sales and what's supposed to be in the process. And right now she can pass it down to the team. Right? A lot of people don't even have that and expecting hiring the salespeople to solve all these problems and get the salespeople to think about that. But this is a business owner problem, right? And she had all this kind of information, right? Now, you see, she did it through what I call as practicing the system, right, and guided her through like implementing and doing some kind of applying the system into her own business industry, right? Which I have no idea what she's doing. I have no idea at all, but I know that she's dealing with human being. I know that there's certain things that a human being need to hear in order to make certain decisions so that they would say, hey, you know what, I want to buy from you, paying her, right?
Okay, we're going to take a break to continue question 3 in the next clip. I think one of the very common beliefs, right, I think is like not just in the market, but in the society, that to get success is very long, take a long time, right? So your fast track student technically actually get 2-3 times at least their results very fast. I will call it a hyper speed, right? Why don't you break it down? Because to let people, they don't see it, they don't believe it. They have questions, right? So can you break it down? Speed, success no need to take years.
Yep. So the thing is, when I first got the taste of this, right, it was not through improving my skills, right? When I was trying to master sales skill, it takes me a long time. I was trying to figure things out, right? And when I first get the taste of this was when I am able to create tremendous results for myself within just first 6 months of trying a new business, right? And this type of business, it would normally take 2 years to reach that kind of figures, and I took 6 months. So what happened when I realized that is that when that happened, I suddenly saw, okay, so right now there's a way of doing things that get results very, very fast. So there's a saying by Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, right? When they so these two guys are the ones that questions everything. So they're one of the smartest, one of the richest people in the world, right? With tremendous wisdom. Now when they started tech companies, right? I think they started PayPal.
Yeah, they are co-founders.
Yeah, co-founders, right? And they sold it off. So what they were asking, right, is that what's stopping you? One of the famous questions I like, what's stopping you to get a 10-year result in 6 months? So what's stopping you, my students, right? So what's stopping me to get my sales result like 2 years or 3 years result in 1, 2 months, 6 months? So then you start to think in that way, right? So when you start to think in that way, then you can see that you can actually do all the things that's necessary and compress it and do 20% of the things that's necessary to get 80% of the result, which means you may not reach that 10-year result. You may reach 5 or 6 years result within that 6 months result. And that is tremendous progress. So when I look at it, right, when I saw skills, it's like, all right, skills is things that people have to become practicing and mastering, and it takes a very, very long time, right? And especially in communication and everything. So there are people that are stuttering, people that can't talk, they think they're introverted people, they don't like to talk, they can't do good in sales, right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why people think that is because they think they have to master the skills and they don't have the knowledge necessary to do it. But the things that you see, then after that, the society has one thing is that, every parent, every dad, every mom will tell children to say, you got to go to school and learn the skill and to be good at something, right? So you have to go and learn everything. And then what they do is that, you try to do everything yourself first. You don't try everything. You don't try everything first. So then a lot of people will have this mindset of trying everything themselves, right? Trying to master skills. But this is the method that I've been using for the past, I think, 15 years. And it got me, to somewhere which I'm not very proud of as well, right? But when we shift the thinking, the paradigm is right. Don't depend on skills because it's something they have learned and do it on their own, but depending on systems. Look at McDonald's, right? McDonald's get to where they are today, even though the cook, right, that cooks the burger for you, tastes the same at every single McDonald outlet, but the cook is O levels or secondary school leaver that don't even know how to cook.
Don't have to be school leaver. But I went back work part-time just for the money. So I'm a failure in the kitchen.
Right.
But I can cook.
Yeah. So we can't cook like a good dish, but you go to McDonald's, you can cook a burger.
Yep.
Why? It's because they have a system that you can follow step by step. There's a process, right? There's things that do to the meat and everything prior to cooking so that it tastes the same, right? Not that it's a healthy food. Okay, we're not even talking about it. So we're talking about a system that get people to be able to do that. So the bridge is this, is that a system help a person to implement things now because the system has been systemized with all the information and necessary steps so that the person that's going through the system will have to just implement it, right? And when you implement it, right, then you will know what is right, what is wrong, what is working, what is not working, right? Then that is where you learn the fastest because through experience of having a guided reference point of where you can go back every single time there's a document to see where is wrong, right? Then you go and do it and you come back to the system. Oh, this is not working. Then let me try this. At least you have a point of reference where this is where you change something. Then you will know. Okay. So it's like every single part of the way. So I remember one of my mentors telling me, right, that he was doing all this kind of presentation online. He was teaching you how to speak on stage. And he said he recorded every single presentation and practice it word by word, adjusting a word by word in every single presentation. Make sure every single presentation is the same, the intonation and everything. And when you change one thing, he will know where it's wrong, right? So this is what a system can provide to you, right? He was using a system to improve himself, and this is where he is today. And he's one of the top closers on stage, right? And I learned this from him as well. So I put it into fast track. So I think I was letting my students say, okay, you learn from the system, you learn how to operate the system, not learning how to do sales. So a system has all the scripts, all the things you need to do, step A until step 10, step A to Z, right? All the things you need to do, which is necessary to 20%. Then you just follow the whole system. And what you do is that you just go and implement, and then you will see where it's working out. When the customers start buying to you, and then you say, oh, this is working. Then when it's working, right, they get the confidence and they thought it was skill. And then, but it's okay because they know when a person knows what's working, they get a feeling of excitement and that kind of euphoria, right? And it sticks to their memory with what they do. Because memories are memories are made stronger with emotions. Anything that doesn't have emotion will make the memory don't last that long because you can't remember it. So it sticks to emotion to generate a place where you can actually recall the memory, right? So they got a euphoric feeling. It's like, hey, this is working though. They're doing the same thing. So I remember one student as well. Most recent one, Anizan. Yeah. So he was doing 1 to 2 sales, 1 to 2 bookings only a month when he get a lot of leads. Right? He got no leads problem, he can't close. But we came and used the system, right? Even though we teach him how to get leads, he get a new way of getting leads. And right now, when he's approaching back to all his leads, right, he's doing 4 to 5 bookings per month. In the first month itself, it jumped up to 2.5x of his previous results, right? And he made about 3 times of his investment with me in just 4 weeks alone. So I always tell them, I always tell my students sales is the only subject where you can earn while you learn. What else can you earn while you learn? Because a lot of things will take time. They pay at the end of the month or whatever, right? So this one is when you do sales, you got the close, you get the money coming in.
Right.
You need money, you can do sales, you do the close, you get the close, and you get the money coming in, right? So what is faster than this, right? So it's earning while you're learning something, right? And then when you implement the system helps you to do that, and when you get that kind of feeling, you keep on wanting to repeat it, right? And that's how that's what I think about when I created Fast Track, right? What I wanted to achieve.
It is so good that you use the McDonald's illustration. Not to offend anyone, system is for dummies. Right? Have whatever books for dummies. The system is for dummies because I work in McDonald's for fun before. Right? You can't fail because they tell you when do you take the meat out from the chiller upstairs? When do you put it out? How do you put it out? Set up what temperature? What is next on the hot pan? When do you put the patty and how many patty to arrange? How many minutes to turn? How many minutes to put your buns? And then your cheese and whatnot? You can't fail.
And then even on the machine itself, they have timer.
Correct.
And they got alarms.
Correct. You can't fail. So now you say that it kind of like, system is the way to success. And now it explains to me, true, how you conceptualize that fast track, which is a great way to
because there's a saying in the market, right? That I've heard before. It's called people don't rise to the levels of their goals, but they fall to the levels of their systems. So how much a person earns, how much a person is making, how much a person is achieving success in life, and how much a person is not failing, it depends on how they look at things. If they look at things as in, okay, I have this big goal, I'll just do whatever I can to reach it and do all the hard work, right? But they don't build system, they don't rely on system, or they don't go and acquire system that's been built by other people so that they can use just off the shelf. just imagine a computer today. If you have to go and you need a computer to do work, but right now, if every single computer retailer in the market tells you you got to build your own computer, buy your own parts, how many people can actually build a computer to be able to use it, including programming the systems inside for it?
Or why people would buy from the very known brand, like for example, Apple, Dell, or whatnot, is because they not only come with the hardware,
Yeah.
it's the operating system.
Exactly. So if I were to ask you to program your own operating system into the computer, then it was like, where do you even start, right? So people have to go and learn. There's a lot. You need 10 years to actually to be able to use the computer.
Yeah.
But a computer is a system where you just buy it off the shelf, you use it immediately, it can function for you, it can get you results immediately.
Yes.
Right? That's what you want. So systems are the way to do that, and this is how you do it. But having said that, there are also bad and good systems.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people are using systems that are bad for them because systems are just, in simple words, are repeatable set of processes. Right? There's input, there's output, right? It's a process that's inside, right? That gets you certain results.
Okay.
Right? Predictably, repeatably, right? Then a lot of people are repeating the wrong things without knowing it because they systemize things already. It's just, system are also a way I would call it as a habit of doing things. Right? So since you have a habit of doing 1 to 3 the same way all over again, right? Then if you're doing the wrong thing, if you don't go and check it out, then you would be repeating the same thing, getting the same bad results. And then people say, oh, things is not working, sales is not for me, the business is not for me, but you are doing the wrong thing. And that's affect how you think.
Yeah. You can't make it, why other people can make it, right?
Yeah. And that's why, right, like, people always try to do the comforting thing because the comforting thing guarantees there's no failure. Meaning, today, I feel comfortable doing this. I know how to do it, even though the results might be mediocre, but I know it can get these mediocre results. Therefore, I don't have to try something new. So when introduced to systems, things and everything, right? So there's a lot of documentation, there's a lot of things they need to do, follow through, and they were not wanting to get a new thing in because then it would mean there is risk. I've never done this before. What if I fail? So people are always thinking how not to fail, whether or not they fail when they did something new. It's not whether or not they succeed.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That is so good. Yeah, because that also leads me to one of the question I want to ask is that it is so, now for all of us that we have seen it, system is really the way that have people to succeed to the path of success, right? Even during this AI time, you really need to be able to system thinking in order to be able to do your prompt, to do your boards and all that. But a lot of people still very much want to rely on seminar, masterclass. They want to go out there and just go and learn everything and then come back and do it themselves instead of like, okay, I need a mentor, I need a coach. They don't see the need of the bridge, right? The symptoms that I think just now you earlier on talk about is information transferring and the society. You want to talk about that part a little bit, like the need to know a lot syndrome, learning syndrome.
Okay, see, right. I think there's nothing wrong in learning more. There's actually a lot of merit in learning things, right? So, and it gets you to a place where you have a lot of knowledge about things, where you can give your opinions on certain things when people are asking the kind of questions, and it sounds really, really nice, right? And when you give an opinion to other person, and the person feels like, hey, you teach me something, I feel good about it myself, right? So it gives that kind of dopamine rush to people, that people would chase it. So I go and learn something, there's nothing wrong with it, right? And there's some people that's really, really addicted to learning, right? So they would try to go to, or we call it seminar junkies, right? They go to every single seminar possible. They try to read every single book. I was once a book junkie as well. I read over 200 books in one single year, just skimming through and reading most important parts and taking. But it helped me a lot, right? So that 1 year I was preparing myself. I know I could take action, right? So the thing is that why they would never think about bridging it is because when they get the knowledge, they think they know it already. That's the most detrimental thought that a person could have, right? Not practicing, oh, I know how to do this already. I'll keep it somewhere. I'll document it somewhere when I need it. Come back to it. It's just like when you go to social media and scroll through everything and you saw a reel that teach you how to do something. I get it already. Safe. Okay, then you put it one side. Then you thought you know. You don't.
Have you ever go back there? And
no, I did. So for me, right, I always will go back to all the reels, right? In fact, when I even share things with you and the team, right, like when I was doing things, I immediately take the reel, I share to you guys, like, okay, do this immediately, right? Whenever I read something that or saw something that give me an aha moment, I tend to go and practice it and do it immediately, right? So that I get a feel of it, whether it's wrong, whether it's right, whether it's working or not, right? So that I can implement it later on, or I can teach my students, right? So this requires immediate action. Most people don't do the immediate action.
they collect information, they collect knowledge, and that like some people are super good in telling you they know this, they know that.
Because our society tends to reward people who seem seemingly smart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think you met people that know a lot, right? And they tell a lot of things about this, about that, and they tell you what to do and what not to do, right? But when you look at the achievements in life, they could be the person that's not who you want to be. Like, I have uncles that tell me what to do, what not to do, and everything, right? But they're not where I want to be in life. Although they have successfully had children, got married, got maybe one or two business, but they're not where I want to be, right? And they advise me in such a way that, you got to do this, you got to do that, right? But I understand where they're coming from, because they are limited by the amount of knowledge that they have. And that's why people keep on chasing knowledge. With more knowledge, you can tell more things to people, right? See things in new way, right? But I think as opposed to knowledge, I mean, one thing that people really forget is that a lot of the rewards that you get in life, it doesn't reward your knowledge. Knowing things doesn't give you a reward.
Okay.
But doing the things in accordance to what you learn and applying it to your own industry and finding a way to do it and applying it and making sure it works. And if it not works, find out another way as well. So it's about testing, right? And people forget about that, right? It was the action. So I myself is a I would say, even branded by my mentor, the ones that take action without knowing everything, the one that test everything. I was scolded by him for testing too many things. But I just had this curious mind of wanting to know whether this works or not, right? That's why I do a lot, tweaks a lot, things I tested. It doesn't work. Yeah, I found out a way it doesn't work. Burned through the business a little bit, but at least I found a way. But if it works, it will have told me a different thing, a different story altogether, right? Then I can teach it to somebody else, right?
I think what you say is especially true in sales.
Mm.
Yeah, because you know more, it's not going to bring you sales.
Yeah, a lot of people are just trying to go to a lot of seminars and everything and try to learn more everything. And they think they know already and then apply. And then when they apply, they think, right, because they don't have the guidance and everything, then they try to be a judge and assessment officer by themselves. So they assess whether this is working or not. But they don't have that knowledge or that paradigm to know, or the reference point, or we call it system reference point, right? To know whether are they doing this correctly in this way or not.
Correct. So they go from seminar to seminar. They have pages and pages of notes. And then one of the common statement that some of the students used to say last time is that when you ask them, have you done this? Oh, I have it in my notes. I need to revise. I need to go back to the note, right? Yeah. Then months later, it's still revising.
Exactly. So that's why, right, I stopped selling my sales training courses anymore. Right. So instead, I created a system and I teach people how to implement a system, and then they have a point of reference. So that's why I created that. It's all fully documented. I don't think anything as detailed as what I have right now. Right. Every single thing, even up to like 100 objection responses, 100 email templates and 100 sales message templates that you can actually use immediately. Every dissected and separate down into every single situation. Right. So you don't have to go and think too much on what to do. Right.
Thinking too much is really the one that kills.
Because you learn too much. You've got too much information in your head. You're trying to scramble for information and trying to think which one is correct, which one is not correct. And it gets you overwhelmed and you feel like, okay, let's stop for a moment first. Then you start to do the things that allow you to feel comfortable. Scrolling TikTok, going on Facebook, watching reels, and then time passed 5 hours, 3 hours.
Right.
Then what happens?
True.
Right? Then you forget about the thing and you come back and you can't recall it anymore. Right? Just because you don't have that. Right?
Yeah. So the pages of things, and it reminds me of my conversation I had with Grace, right? Yeah. For her, she's also like, pages of notes. Like, can I implement? It's like, where do I start?
So because you're just putting down onto notes, but you haven't practiced it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I had the fast track to make sure that I don't even get my students to make notes. Right? I give all the notes to them. I say, don't even make notes, just find out important things you're going to do. Don't even make notes, and then I'll give you homework, just implement the homework. That homework is helping you to understand. And after that, right, in the review coaching that we have every single day, is for you to submit your homework, make sure you understand things. Once you understand things, then you go and practice it immediately. Right? That's how you get mastery. That's how you understand whether, this worked this way. You get that kind of feeling that you will never get by having the knowledge inside any paper or book, right? So I think she mentioned to you she went to a lot of marketing class, a lot of FB classes, right? As training, right? And she was struggling to have this kind of consistent sales, right? When I think you managed to find out from her that she had only like $12 left in her
after
pocket.
paying everything,
Yeah.
that she doesn't know when is her next batch of income is going to come in, and she only have 12 ringgit left at that time.
Yeah. She knew the strategy, she knew tactics, right, on sales, right? But what she didn't have is that besides someone that I think, like me and the co-coach beside us, like forcing her to say, hey, this is the way to do it. Do this right now and see the important you do and do it this way, right? And my fast track got her on to work on this system, right? And she copied the system, and I personalized some of the information for her because she's doing her homework, right? And help her to implement. So in this 4 weeks, right, she doubled. In the first month itself, it doubled her best months that she was not doing. Sorry, a full dip. She showed me she was full dip, and it came back up again because of that. And then in the following month, it also increases, right, on a slant going up, right? So, this is what I could say. Like, if it's skills only, right, you don't see that kind of improvement in just 1 month. It would take 6 months to 12 months. But because of the system, you got this 20% information on how to use the system, and then 80% is us forcing her to go and do the implementation, guiding her through, right? Then, that's the result she got. She got back everything she paid for the system, for the fast track, in the 4 weeks. And right now she's using that to keep on making money every single month after that, and she's maintaining the results, which were better than the previous months.
Correct.
When she don't have the system.
When I spoke to her and then I recorded it, so I put it to your social media.
Yep.
And her friends saw it.
And what happened?
Yeah. Then they were teasing her. Yeah. So, which is good because she felt very, very relief.
Yeah. So I think I want to add something onto that, is that a lot of people don't know she's doing e-commerce, right? She has this red light therapy product, right? Lighting that she sells on her e-commerce shop. But what most e-commerce sell thinks is something like this. I have an e-commerce shop. I put it somewhere like either Shopee or whatever. I have my website. I try to drive traffic to it, and boom, it will sell by itself.
They hide behind the screen. They think I put on the store, and behind the screen, the moment I have the store, it will ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
So when you're small, right, that doesn't work that way, right? When it's small, when it's just starting out. So starting out, you gotta have a place for you to verify and validate whether people want this product or not, right? So what's better way to actually do the sales yourself, and you know it? And you know it when you put it on your e-commerce, then you can drive traffic to it. So what I got her to do, instead of doing e-commerce, right, she has all her products in e-commerce and everything, all the things that the customer can check out, right? But right now, I asked her to do ads, using the fast track, and she reached out to every single one just like a salesperson. And that is where she saw the results, because people like this kind of personalized approach when they're buying things of like few $1,000s, right? People don't just go to your website and say, oh, this is a few $1,000 thing. I think I'm going to buy it now. Pring, like, ching, I'm going to buy it, right? It doesn't work that way. Because unless I know I've used this thing before, right? I've known the thing, I've got enough knowledge. But to most of the customers, this is new to them. So they require some kind of an education on it, right? Some kind of demo, right? Some kind of reassurance, guys, on the part that this is actually working. And if it's not working, what could happen, right?
They also want to know, who am I buying from?
One product is so that when they see this person in real time in Zoom or wherever, right, then they will know, okay, this person is trustworthy, so I can put my few $1,000s, right? Few $1,000s for a lot of people is not big money. It's not more money. Sorry, it's not small money, right? So you have to look at it that way. And then when people go to the website and buy, right now she meet the person first, and after that you just give the link, and then they'll automatically check out on the website just because she did the outreach first to the person that's actually putting their
Even got referrals before she asks.
Yeah. And right now, I think, when she used some of the things that we teach her in some of our masterminds program, right? Then after the fast track event, she used some of the rules there, the principles there to create videos. And organically, she's getting leads already right now. One day, she can even get like 20, 30 people contacting her, talking about this, right?
Yeah.
Without paying for ads, which has never happened to her before, even though she did a lot of videos in the past.
TikTok is working.
Yep. And she's getting leads from there, right? And this is the results of practicing a good system, right? You know where to fall back to. And right now, she's not worried about not having sales. And right now, she's worried about hiring teams, and she's worried about how to scale the business, how to make it more scalable. And she's fixing and tweaking the things that get her more sales, right? Instead of focusing on just, I sit down and wait.
Yeah, correct. I think a lot of people would think that, okay, 4 weeks, how is it possible, right? Because they have never been exposed to this level kind of thinking, like, because you take the Peter Thiel and Elon Musk kind of thinking, take the 10-year goal, shift it in 6 months.
Yep.
It's like 10 years to 6 months is super damn small fraction, right?
Well,
So, but you have a very generous heart for this year, is that this 5 cohorts of people, once they finish fast track, you are gifting them a gift to be part of an inner circle, to continue that mentorship and the learning. Personally, I think that is too generous. I actually count the time. It's only less than $30, if they do it that way, right? What motivates you to do it that way?
Okay, I think, right, so let me fall back to some of the principles that I use in sales, right? So I used to learn from this one person. He just met me for one time, and he talked about something called follow through. All right. And then I saw some saying, right, that says, a person who likes running will run farther than the person who likes winning in a 100-meter race. Right? The person who likes winning will stop at the winning line. The person who likes running will keep on running until, whatever he sees, right? So for me, I think I'm the person who likes sales, right? I don't just do it for the sake of getting the sales in the end, right? Because I have this saying of making sales easy, fun, and enjoyable. So that's the guiding principle and the core value here at Ultimate Closers, so that we are doing every single thing we can, right, to make sales easy, fun, and enjoyable for every single participant and students that came to us to get a system to help them with increasing the sales, right? Now, that follow through, right, is the thing that I think is very, very important. That I teach my students as well. Every single one in the system, they need to follow through with the customer. So I'm doing the same thing, implementing with them, right? Now, the reason why I would, as you say, being too generous with this, is because I don't see this as a way to make money in this business itself, right? I'm actually doing this for the sake of fulfilling my promise with a mentor of mine, that he said, when I teach you, you need to teach people your sales, right? When I teach you business, you need to teach people your sales, right? Because he saw how I do it differently, how I systemizing a lot of things, and this is a promise I'm fulfilling even until today. I do not know when it's going to end. So what I'm doing is that I'm trying to fulfill this promise, but where I look at the bigger picture is when a student knows sales, right, then I suddenly saw a bigger opportunity here. So instead of me trying to make money from them in mentoring and everything, right, but of course there will be fees and tuition fees to manage all the expenses that we have right now, right? The team, the rental, everything, the customer service, all this, they need to put food on the table. So there's a minimum amount of expenses that we need to pay, and it's a business anyway, right? So we need to pay all the bills, and we have certain fees to do that. But that 11 months or 12 months of mentoring that I'm going to give them, all right, after that, it's going to be worth like what, $6,000, right? 20,000 to 30,000 Malaysian ringgit. Now, why giving out seems such a good option for me is because, right, I want them to feel rewarded, to prove to me that they can actually do it in the fast track. And when they are able to close sales in the fast track, I feel more than compelled to give that to them for free, just because I want this group of people who actually perform to be around me. They're champions. They have the champion mindset. They're willing to do the stuff, although they may not yet be there, but they have the willingness and the attitude that can prove they can be there. And I want to surround myself with a group of these people, so that when I push them, they could go higher. So you see, there's a saying by my mentor: we rise by lifting others up. Okay, lifting other people up. So I'm trying to practice as well, right? So by lifting them up, so I'm willing to absorb the cost of that, so that I have a pool. Okay, in terms of maybe a little bit of my own agenda is that, so that I have a pool of human resources around me that I could tap on at any time. And this is a community of people who has trust with us, and I trust them for being able to do the things, right? So when they have human capital is such a big thing right now as well, right? Even though the AI things is coming and everything, but you need human capital to really do certain things as well, right? Although we can rely a lot of AI, right? But I think you're rewarding, not rewarding, like when we get a group of people coming together, right, we can do even more great things, even though with AI around, so we can leverage AI together as opposed to us individual trying to build a single solo empire business and everything, right? So we can rely on each other. And everyone, let's say everyone is able to solo and be successful solo and coming together, right? Then it will be this whole group of people with a lot of results coming in together and sharing and doing things together. That would be like super. So I can choose from this group of people so that I can then have a business with them in the future. And that's where I'm going to make my bigger money there, right? Okay, and some of them already started with me on that.
Yeah.
So that's my bigger goal in the end, as opposed to looking at the 5-year or 2 years or 1 year goal. So these are 10, 20 years kind of project.
It sounded to me more like how when Mark Zuckerberg initially, when he was offered the first deal to buy Facebook, right? It was a huge money. If I'm not mistaken, it's like, like 20 billion or something like that. Yeah. And he said no. He said, even if you buy it, I'm going to start another one that is going to start as the same way. Yeah. And why would I want to sell this? Yeah.
So I think like this is the mindset and belief system that we all have, right? That we got from the society, where a lot of people like to ask for answers, right, and solutions for their problems, and ask advice, and think that all the advice that they get and all the answers they get, right, will be the holy grail, the master key, and everything, even one single thing, right?
One magic key.
Yeah.
That's it. I got this answer already.
But to be successful, I think one thing that you need to do is to be able to follow through whatever that you do. So continuous doing what you need to do, right? And that requires tremendous amount of discipline, or somebody pushing your ass and whipping your ass and asking you to do it, right? So another way is having a system that shows you all the way from A to Z, all the processes needed so you can get to an outcome, and you keep on repeating the same process, right? So then it can become scalable for you. It can become steady and stable for you, right? So
yeah.
I think you know the magic message from my system, right?
Yeah, the most magical one.
Yep. Okay. So I told when Nicole came to me, right, I told her to blast to all her existing leads, right, that she talked to, that they did not respond to her, right, when she was at her rock bottom in her life, right, not making any income, back to Malaysia from Indonesia, not having any opportunity. So she started MLM, right, and in 3 weeks only she started to close sales, and she managed to close her first sales, which is 1,500, which is very positive for her, right? After so many months of not being able to do anything, right? Because of mindset alone. So in 8 weeks only, right, she became to have all this kind of massive income coming in already, that she's able to cover all the
close a deal with a Korean
like
client,
$50,000 kind of thing
over the phone.
Yeah. Right. And in 8 to 12 months time, right, she managed to close a deal which she facilitated, right, to get the approval for it from a ministry in Malaysia, Ministry of Agriculture, I think, MOD or HO, I forget really, right, Department of Agriculture, DOA, right, and that deal was 56 million a year, export deal to China. So the deal was valid, the license and applications were valid for 5 years, right? So that was super explosive, right?
Right.
And I think, when that happened to her, I start to give my closing more clients the workshop that I have the 4 days workshop. So I give all the students the same thing, but they didn't get the explosive results as Nicole. And the reason why is because they use the magic message to their clients and everything. And in that 4 days loan, they got the response for the customer, and they say now what to reply and how to reply everything, right? And so what they didn't have was the full set of the system, right? And the follow through to do every single thing from A to Z, right? So they just know one part only. Now, so what I mean is that for Nicole, she has all the pieces in place already. When she used the message, she know all the things to do. So she kept on practicing it for the next couple of months. She got explosive results.
I would also think that when, just like what she said in Mastermind, she said, you told her, just go blast my magic message. So she blasts, and then the next thing that you told her to do, she'll just do.
Yep.
Like what you say, no thinking.
Yep.
So the follow through is like the now what next step. Right? She has someone, it's just like the rally driving car. Lah.
Yep.
Turn this turn already, how many meters ahead, make another turn.
So they have to prepare for that, everything, right?
Yeah. It's the voice that next to you that keeps saying, right? Yeah.
And a lot of people think they know what to do next. So when the magic message reply came back from the customers, right, most of them don't know what to do. So that's a testament of the skills, right? That's a testament of how much you can remember your skills.
Also the testament that they don't have a system.
Yeah.
After that,
what to do. So the system will tell you what to do next, right? So so then the prospect unfortunately goes again, right? They don't know what to say.
Fall back to the old ways.
So that's why I even the fast track, right? After the 4 weeks, that's why I give the gift, so that there will be a follow through with my students, right? So that they can actually fix the now what kind of thing, right? After the 4 weeks, what now what? There'll be a lot of things that you're going to face in sales. Potentially you want to do business and everything, right? So I'll guide them along in my mentoring for the next 11 or 12 months or so, right? In other words, I'm building people so that I too have my own assets. Right?
Yeah.
So they follow through with the system, and when they got the full system ready, she's able to become, like Nicole today, able to become a business owner in Indonesia,
right?
And I'm the partner there as well, right? And Ping Her is scaling her business to new location. You know, Grace is starting to get customers from out of Malaysia where she wasn't thinking about it, and she's getting a new income stream, which is not just from selling products, but selling her knowledge in helping
She's
people.
also starting to build affiliates.
Yep. So it's kind of different thing when you can scale, when you can see the thing, you can solve a problem in sales, then you can repeat it in other parts of the business.
Correct. Yeah. So your now what is really I think the look of it, right? I also have friends among me that for example, resign from job and then jump into MLM.
Yeah. What they do?
Yeah. Then when, of course, there's a sudden shock, right? Because they tell you to reach out to all your friends and families and call them and present the product information and all that. And in 3 months, no sales. And then they will like sit down with me and then talk to me. It's like, okay, it's so hard to persuade. I give them every information, but they just, it's what they need, but they just don't make decisions. What they're looking for is like your magic message. Like that. One magic, they go in there, they can close sales. But I think this is like, they think of like, after doing this, now what? They don't think about that. Now what? So that is what it leads into your students all have the explosive results, is because there's always the next steps in the system.
So I think the now what, right, comes from a very good point is this, like you mentioned, like they want to go into the next steps, but they're always looking for the now what. But at the same time, I think they want the now what, which is the next thing that helps them to do the thing immediately to close the sales. But they didn't think about the now what as a whole system altogether, a plethora of steps that you can go through from the start until the end, right? Because I always tell people the close doesn't start when you ask the person to buy your product. The close start from the very start, from your brain, from your mind, and what principles you have in sales that will cause you to be able to close the sales. Right? Because how you act depends on what you believe. Right? I don't tell people what to think, because right, if you train people what to think, right, it's very, very hard, because if you have never been a millionaire, how would you think like a millionaire? If you've never been an investor in property market for the past 10 years, right, you can't think like a property investor. Right? You won't have that kind of experience to think. Even though you've got the knowledge, you won't think that way, right? Because your brain is not wired that way yet. You don't have that kind of information highway in there to carve into your neuron pathways, right? Now, and that's where I say, you need to be able to at least depend on a system that's already carved that highway out, right, from A to Z, so you know exactly what to do. Then as you do along, then it starts to train you to think that way.
Yeah.
And in order to do this, then you have to change your belief first. Don't change your thinking. So what you believe will ultimately affect how you do things in life.
Yes.
If you believe let's say, Joanne, you believe you're a man right now, you would go to the toilet and you stamping at a ping thing, right? For men. Yeah, if you believe you're a man, you will do that thing.
But that is what happened in our society nowadays.
Okay, we don't go into that topic, all right? But if you believe so, then you will do that thing. You see,
Right.
your actions come from your belief, not your thoughts, not your thinking.
The thing that just now you talk about, everyone is also think about now what. That's why they come to friends and comes to whoever's and ask like, now what, right? It reminded me something that we discussed before. Like you say, because they don't have a system, right? These people, they ask for now what. It's as though that they want to assemble a nice piece of puzzles, but they look for the pieces in all the different boxes.
Just like YouTube, Google, whatever.
Yeah, they do look from different boxes in order to get the picture that they want, instead of go to the box that give them that picture and all the pieces from that box.
And one most important thing is that if the person who got the box of that pieces on puzzle had another person that put a numbering on every single bag of those pieces, and all they had to do is to piece it together by 1, piece it with 2, 2 piece it with 3, that will get them faster result. They don't even need to depend on thing. Of course, it takes the excitement away a little bit. But today, if result was important to you, then you go and get the results that you need first at a minimum level, let's say a minimum amount of income that you want, a minimum amount of savings that you want, so that you're comfortable with that. Then all the extra money that you have making from the system that is boring, right? Because nobody wants to do the boring thing. Systemizing the whole thing, following the system, doing the same thing over and over again is boring. Nobody wants to do that, but it gives you result. Look at all the biggest companies in the world. None will survive without a system.
Yes.
Right? Every single biggest company in the world, right? That lasts for a couple of 100 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you have a person that put everything number at the back, right? That's your mentor, that's your coach, because they have seen everything already.
They can see your blind spot.
Right? So you have a person that do that for you. Right?
Yeah.
That's how a person that look at things as a system.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So, whatever that you have done for Fast Track now, 5 batches, you come to such a sweet spot to get them results, successful results, right? But what happened is that it takes a tremendous amount of time, energy from you, from the team, the resources, the supporting them from the back, right? The daily coaching, and the Telegram is so buzzing, right? Every time message come in, how do I change this? How do I change that? What do I say? Why would you do that? I mean, it takes so much out of you.
Okay, you see, right? I believe that I am a practitioner of what I teach, right? I have the principle in sales that I tell people about the mindset they need to have, a belief system that they need to have, which is do what others don't, right? So that's very important. I really believe in that because, right, when I started my Dutch business back then, one of the things that we did was we did what others don't, because there are already 3 competitors in the market that's already getting a lot of market share, and we're just a new player in town, and we have to get the market share as quickly as possible. So if we're doing the same thing as everybody else is doing, right, then it would make us no different in the eyes of the consumer or the business owner to see, hey, I get from the other person the same deal, same thing, right? So we dare to do the things that others don't dare to do. For example, like when there's a lot of accessories that we need to provide for the customers to play, right, with the Dutch machine. So those accessories has tips and parts that can be broken, right? So it is a wear and tear thing. So we need to be able to get that to the customers, to the business owners, so they can actually give to the customers and play. So let's just say if everything, because all the other companies is charging them like $20 per package of 100 pieces or 50 pieces, right? Then if the business owner need to pay for it, right? Then when the consumer break one of it, right, then they will like, be stingy about it, because even though it's $1 or $20, it's not expensive, then the business owner will be stingy because they know they have to pay for it. Then they will ask the consumer, so they ask the consumer to play properly and everything, right? Even though the thing is broken or it's not nice, then it defeats the user experience, and the consumer, the player, wouldn't want to play that much, right? So in order to get money into the darts machine, the player has to want to play it.
Right.
So what we did is that we give unlimited amounts of replacement of these tips and everything. We bear all the costs so that the customer would then be able to get their customers to play, and then they don't have to refrain. Oh, the tip is broken, just change. So the user experience is good.
Yeah.
Right. At least on the playing part, on the willingness to play. So that's what we do. We dare to do what others don't. Right. So that's one example of it. And I think
that was what brings you to a certain positioning in the market share.
Yeah. It brought me to the second place, I think. Yeah.
From a newbie to a second place.
So, and then we went from zero, no customers at all, from zero market share, went all the way to a 8-figure company in 3 years. And we did a 11 million deal. I personally did the 11 million deal in the company. Right.
Okay.
So now I'm using the same concept of doing what others don't again, right? All this kind of mindset belief. So I'm doing it again. So with my Fast Track, I'm giving people with a lot of my time. I don't want them to make Fast Track into another seminar. I just want to make this into another seminar, another masterclass that people just attend and leave and get the information and don't have results.
Yeah, they continue going and look for another masterclass.
Correct. So now I'm doing it again, right? So with Fast Track, I think with Fast Track, I don't want my students to go to another seminar, to another masterclass, everything. So this is just my way of taking out the competitors. All right. So because if we want to not to survive but to thrive, we have to make this decision that we have to be different in terms of our customer side, and we must dare to do what others don't. Right. A lot of people are thinking about costing, right? But I don't think about costing as a cost. I think about this as an investment into the future. Right? I think in horizons of 10 years and 20 years instead of 5 years and 1 year or 2 years or 3 months. Right? What can I get out of it in 10 years when I invest my time like that? Right? And right now, I am pretty sure that in the market, when I'm in my deathbed, or even my students are on their deathbed, or probably in their 70s and 80s, my name will be in one of their stories to their children and grandchildren. Because they have benefited from a legacy that are left behind, which is they managed to turn their life around. They managed to do things that most people are not able to do, right? And they managed to get that things and life in order because of the system that they have, which is the legacy I left for them that they already own it right now, right? But that depends on them whether they want to use it or not. And they can use it until they die. Even in the 70s, they want to get money, they can use the same system, do sales, and they get money, right? So to me, I think, one of the things that people, why I do this is because it's very, very hard. It's very easy to live a life without meaning, that just drift along. Just whatever comes and you just do. All this come already, this trend is ready, I just do and try it, right? But it's really hard to live a life with purpose, right? It's really hard to find a purpose in life as well, right? And the purpose, if it's only just for yourself, then you would do everything for yourself and it still feel meaningless. So the purpose has to be bigger than yourself. It should be a purpose that you are helping other people as for society, right? And you leave something behind. And I remember this conversation I had with my mom, because she was talking about my grandma being, the urn was being kept somewhere in a temple, in a place, in a very nice temple, right? And she was talking about all her brothers, just one by one leaving because of sickness and everything. Then I was asking my mother, okay, so I was being very critical and said, if I were to ask you about this uncle that just passed away, 3 years down the road, what will you tell me about this person? How will you introduce this person to me? Okay, then I could guess. So the most things, he's a very loving guy. He provided for his family. He made his family proud. He was doing this job, right? And that's it. It's all about them and their family, right? It's all about them and their family. So for me, then I told my mom, so in 20, 30 years time, we're going to forget about this person, right?
Right.
So just remember every single human being, right? You, 20 years from now, when you die already, 20 years from now, from when you died, no one's probably going to remember you. No one's probably going to go to a grave and say, cry in front of Joanne's grave. I don't even go to my grandma's place anymore, right? But I had to have my mom to bring me over to that, right? So you remember a person by going to a mentor place that you have them there, right?
Right.
But when you make your life purposeful by living down a legacy for other people, right? Then people will look at all the history, like people remember the names, like all these big names, all the histories, right? Alexander the Great, whatever, right? They left a story down for the people to remember that until today, far beyond after they died. People don't need to go to the grave to know this person.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is that, right? I told my mom, you know what? When I died that time, I'm pretty sure, I have my story and everything etched out, even digitally right now, copies of things that I've left down to the world that they can still use and monetize even after I die. That's my legacy. I made the world a better place, a legacy with my name on top of it. Right? People know who Aaron Chong is. Right?
I think it's a great thought that you think it that way, that once you impact their life, their search for the next sales seminar and the next sales masterclass stop right there.
Yeah, that's what I intend to do. Because if you want to leave down a legacy, if they keep on looking for the new thing, they will remember the new thing. But if you stop where you are today, there's a saying in life that I think, I've carried out a lot in terms of responsibility as a leader, which is called the buck stops here. Okay, the buck stops here. The buck, B-U-C-K, the buck stops here.
Okay.
Buck means, right, that there's the bullet, there's a buck of bullets spraying, right, and it stops where the leader are. It stops with me, right? So I had that thinking all this while. I learned that since very, very young as a leader in Scouts, right? So we take full responsibility. The buck stopped with us. Right? Everything stopped with me. Okay, so I had carried this kind of saying into doing the sales fast track program, including my mentoring as well. So when you learn sales, you come to me, you have everything in it.
Yeah.
You don't need to go everything. At other places, okay, for product knowledge, yes.
Yeah.
Right. But the sales, everything they need for sales.
But you have proof. You really have proof to a lot of your students that even if you have no knowledge about the products, no knowledge about, cannot say no knowledge about product, is no knowledge of the product features and benefits. You are able to sell in the instance. And because your understanding is different.
Yeah, because we understand what humans need to hear, what value is to people. So I've developed a way to extract value from any single product just with 4 words only. So those are the 4 words that all my students use to extract value.
Yeah, and talking about value, the most amazing one is you found that word, you found that phrase, and you give it to Matthias, and now objection disappear.
Yep, exactly. So sometimes, even though as a student is going through a fast track and found certain answers, right, and they got feedback from customers, but they sometimes missed out because they're looking at other things. So for me, right, when they submit all their reviews and customer screenshots to me and all messages, then I look through. Then for me, because I'm always looking, I'm always this knack of trying to look for things that stands out to me, right? So I was looking, this stands out. This is the one that, because of my past experience, that told me this one is the one that I will buy it for, right? This is the reason, right? Then give it to him, and right now, it become his kind of mantra kind of thing. He follows through with every single customer, even customers that don't buy in the past 7 months. I've been dealing with customer, just showing this one information and chart only, the customer made decision immediately. And some of the customer coming to him, right, because in the insurance industry and this financial industry, people are pretty skeptical, right? People don't just park your money there, right? Who are you, right? So people actually calling him for advisors and say, I want to park my money with you. I want to buy your stuff, right, after you show that. So that's one small changes that I said, right, that could affect his entire sales. So when I say when I'm trying to make a system to make sales easy, fun, and enjoyable, is actually to make the person don't need to think too much in sales, don't need to do so much, don't need to rely on skills, but instead rely on a system saying the things in the system that allows the sale to happen naturally when the customer feel happy about making a decision and they come to you instead of you going to them.
And I think that is a very good one about the systems, because if you're trying to figure it out, right, most of the training and masterclass and courses, they teach you the huge, big strategy. Everyone wants the groundbreaking strategy, but right here is proven that it's the nuances.
It's a boring stuff, I think.
To some people, maybe it's boring stuff, but I think, watching you, observing you, that is very exciting, because it's like that slight tweak, right? It's not the big temperature turn. It is the slight adjustment
So it
Get
requires,
perfect brown kind of.
yeah, so it requires this knowledge of finding the 20% that makes 80% of the result. What is the actually the trim tab? The ship. I learned from this one time I was going to a seminar. I learned from this speaker that he used this trim tab analogy for this. Right, there's a big ship. The trim tab is where the part of the ship, right, that at the very backside of the ship, there's this motor and the engine running, gushing the water, right? And then there's this small thing
Ah,
right in front of that
rudder.
engine, the rudder, the tin trap, right? That when you turn it, right, the whole ship can turn one.
Yes.
So the ship is super big. The tin trap is just so small part, right, of the whole entire ship, but it turns the entire ship.
Right.
That is the thing that people should be looking for, but not many people know how to look for it. So
Yeah.
I'm always looking for that. I've trained myself to look for that.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, I'm a lazy person.
You are the hardworking lazy person.
So I don't want to do all the things that, unnecessary, everything. I want to do one thing, right? I can rest 80% of the time, but I do this one thing, everything changes.
Whatever that you have done is a lot of time unbelievable to a lot of us. I mean, to your students now inside that we see and we chat and in the community is all so exciting. But to the outsider, it's like too good to be true, right? And also because of that, we have some keyboard warriors that commented about if his true is so good a closer, he would be closing deals for himself. He won't teach students and take students' money, right? What is your take about that?
Well, it's not wrong, for sure, but everyone has his opinion to something, right? So I don't think it's okay to dismiss other people's opinion and stuff, right? So I think then, to me, I think of all these things, right? There's no, okay, if you know about marketing, right? People say about there's no bad marketing. There's only marketing. So marketing is a way to get known and stuff like that. So right, there's no bad marketing. So when he talks bad about me or whatever opinion that he has, I think he really passed for me. So I need to thank him for that, for creating the name for me, right? Getting other people to know me and sending people to me. So thank you for the traffic anyway, right? So and then I think on another side note is this, right? Whatever people say is a reflection of what they see in life, right? It's not necessarily who they are, but it's all the things that society has put on this person. So I pity a little bit, right? And also, if you were to ask me, like, what he was saying about the statement, like if it's so good, he would be able to sell. Then I think, for me, even teaching people how to sell, right, it's not my choice in the first place, right? It was my mentor's decision to help me to get me to do this, right? I don't even actually intend to do this. It takes a lot of my time. If you ask me, do I like to do coaching? No. Do I like to do mentoring? No. Right. It takes a lot of my time, it takes a lot of effort. My gray hair came down all because of that, because I was thinking on behalf of other people, but I'm glad I'm doing it as well, because it forces me to become a better person, take up a new challenge, right? I'm really, really glad I think that. So even though as much as I hate doing it, right? But but it became a different purpose altogether, right? So having said that, the thing is that when we mentor other people, we have this part of the business that we show to other people in the front. Doesn't mean that we don't have other things going on at the back, right? In order for me to even get students to come here and take student money, that itself is sales, isn't it? If I'm not able to sell, why would a person want to learn sales from me, right? So I have to be a practitioner while I preach, and I have to be able to close the sales to get the student to come in to learn. And that itself is sales, isn't it? Right? So to see it that way, then I mean he's not wrong, and I'm not wrong as well, right? So I think um, after the message happened, right, I think a lot of people, it's good to have all these kind of messages outside there. Then people will be able to discern right or wrong, right? Of course, we can't stop people from believing whatever that people say, right? But I think one of the things that I don't do is that I don't give energy to all these kind of messages, right? Because whatever you give your energy to, you focus on it. So yeah, I keep on focusing on my energy on this front, right? Then I would fail to focus my energy on delivering or creating programs or fast tracks like this that help students get results. But instead, I keep on thinking about how can I make sales easy, fun, and enjoyable, and focus on my students. So this one, when my student get result, we shut down all these kind of noises outside there, right? So what I don't do is that I don't kill them with my words. I kill people with my results, right? If you are able to produce results all like this, and I'm very, very happy of it, and I'm able to change people's life, why should I care about a person that don't even came to my class in the first place, haven't come into my class in the first place to learn? If he came to my class to learn about this, then it would be an easy way to shift the thinking and everything. But he didn't, and he's giving his opinion based on something that is baseless, right? So if you're giving a baseless comment, why should I give a baseless comment some kind of energy? It just doesn't make sense, right? So I would rather focus all my energy on my students that get them a lot of results, and they're thankful of me, and I'm very happy with the bunch of students together with me that's going on this journey to grow in life. Than the other person that's trying to have the time, that the other person that has the time to go under his keyboard and comment on something that he never even had experienced it.
Yeah.
When he can use that time for better.
The amazing thing is that they wrote that way, and then nowadays, digital is so easy, right? So people Google you, right? And they come into your social media, like IG, your IG wall and all that. They see all the results, right? The results are all published public, right? And then you have DMs.
Yeah. And I got people, DMing me then saying that, oh, I was in your, even coming to the workshop, like saying, oh, I was following you for the past 1.5 years already on the social media and everything. Right now, I decided to come in.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, when you do something good and you know you're authentic and you know that you're having the integrity to be so, and you're not cheating other people, you're not harming other people, you're really doing something good for the society, right? Then the right people will come in.
Yeah.
Right.
The other day, I had someone came in for a screening interview, and her hobby pastime, watch your YouTube. Watch your YouTube shorts. I'm like, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, if people were to make my content as an entertainment for themselves, right, then I think that they would potentially be better than scrolling on TikTok, looking at cat videos, people recommending where to travel, what to eat, right? Then at least you make some money here. Right? You learn something, right? Which I'm very happy for that.
Yeah. So we have a good run, and it's already November.
Yeah.
What is happening next?
So I think the next thing that's happening right in this November itself, I'm creating a retreat, which is the first time I'm doing it. A retreat is for my not only students, for everyone around me to come and group together, and we have a retreat so that we can discuss business. So it's going to be like a 4 days, 3 nights kind of thing, trapped in a villa with me, right, where we're gonna brainstorm on things, meet me in person, reviewing all the private things that we are not able to share online because of those private things, right? Like screenshots, a conversation with students, with customers and everything, right? So we can show there and no record is being taken. And then we're having that retreat in end of November. Then I think, and in this retreat, why I do it in November is because, right, December usually is a time for people to go for holidays and stuff, right? So I always try to prep my students and myself, right, that in November itself, we do all the preparation for next year, right? When people are busy going for holidays, busy resting themselves, right, and busy trying to catch up in January, we already started January in November, right? Yeah. So we get them ready. So like that, even after you go for your holidays in December, you'll have already things ready for January.
Things already working.
Yeah, you already have things going on already, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I do things. I learned it from a mentor. We don't start when everybody is starting. We start we start when everybody is ending.
I learned from one of my consulting senior previously in IMNC also. She always send back for next quarter all her projects. Yeah. That's how I learned from her to fill all my consulting days.
Yeah. So
that's facts.
So when you do that, then you're more prepared than the other person. So you're prepared to receive any opportunity that's going to happen in January. Right? Even right now, we are getting a lot of a lot of inquiries. Even this year was a very big growth for Ultimate Closing and myself as well, because I was invited by Property Guru, the largest Property and iProperty, both of this, right? The largest property platform for both end users and property agents in this region, and even in Singapore, and I think in Asian markets as well, right? The biggest. If anyone were to come close, then there's nothing that can come close to that at this point of time. Everybody looks for property, go to these two places, and they invited even though they got an event organizer, their marketing management team, right, specifically said to reach out to me, right? And that And that means a lot to me. So this is a big progress I want to give to my students as well, right? If our things are not working here, we wouldn't have been able to have this chance, right? And right now, a lot of big companies are coming over because of all the things that we're doing, and we're doing great, and we're doing something really, really different. It's because of all the things that we're trying to practice here, right? And I think, to end things, right? Maybe if people are willing to come to the retreat and try out not only the retreat and try out my workshop and really try out the system, right? Which of course there will be a tuition fee involved, just like anything, because we have bills to pay. I would have made it free if I don't have any single bills to pay for this, right? But in fact we have, and I can't jumble up, take all my personal resources and put it here and say free for everybody, right? That's not just a wise way of doing things. I have always learned how to make business sustainable by its own, right? Even though it's breaking even to just to make it sustain, right? Right.
I don't believe the world should be free.
Yeah, nothing is free in this world, right?
Yeah,
Even
somehow you're gonna pay it somewhere, or someone has to pay it, and it's very unfair if you want things free on the other person's expense.
Yep. Okay, I truly agree with that as well. So everybody should be responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Be a contributing person instead of taking.
Yep. And to get, you must first give.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I think going into 2026, there'll be a huge change. I think in terms of AI and everything, right? So it's coming in. A lot of people are depending on AI to learn how to do their sales. But the thing is that AI is not crafted with the knowledge that we have. It's not crafted with the principles and the system that we have, right? How AI performs is as good as the instructors.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people instructing in wrong ways and getting them showing this and showing that, and I have students coming in and using AI to craft their replies, and it doesn't work for them, and yet they still come and buy in my system, right? And then only they know what to do, right? So just to say this, right, a lot of people are depending on AI. AI may harm you in your sales if you are not doing it correctly.
Talking about AI,
Yep.
I think you must have seen it also.
Yep.
To me, that is a very jarring situation. Deloitte,
Yep.
the reports that came out, right, was AI generated, but whoever's that manager, how come never detected his 440K projects, right? Not projects, the report, right?
Yeah.
And it was in error.
Yep. Look at that, right?
It was in error. It was not validated. So it shows me that the person who was doing it just blindly used AI, generated it, and that's it. And they think that they can just hand it out.
Yep. It's like a proven kind of thing. So there must always be balance and check with the AI.
Yes.
So you must always verify, even
Which is the user, the one that controlling the AI.
Correct, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will wrap this podcast up, and looking forward for the retreat and the plan for the kickoff of 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.